Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is me again, coming at you from Las Vegas. Today we have the girlfriend's newer car. It is the 2007 Hyundai Accent, the one that had the sticking gauges. As of now, the car drives fantastic. It did have a little bit of a vibration earlier due to the fact that it may have been maybe bad gas or maybe a vacuum leak or something like that. But so far we haven't had any lights come on, so I think we're okay. We had the check engine light come on twice. The first time it went off by itself. The second time I cleared the code by disconnecting the battery. So we're just going to see if it comes back on. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis on this car. My first impression was, wow, this transmission shifts really sluggish, but it shifts into top gear rather quickly. In the Chevrolets, the Hyundais, and a couple other vehicles, I'm not sure which ones they are. I don't know if some of the Dodges do it. I know the Stratus didn't. The car will shift from first to second to third gear and then lock up the torque converter in third and then rotate to overdrive. Now, this car also does that. If I slow down a little bit and I do a kick down, you will see that the RPMs will almost look like a slipping clutch. They will slip down just a little bit to get to the torque converter lockup feature, and then it will rotate into fourth. And then after that, it will lock up the torque converter again. Now, sometimes it'll switch to fourth with the torque converter already engaged, and that's normal. It's just, you know, cars are very temperamental, so you never know. My car sometimes locks it in third and then switches to fourth, but that's very rare. That's only when I'm going downhill. Another impression of this car was, you know, rather good on gas. As you can see, we filled up the tank this morning, and is just below full tank, and we've driven, I would say, maybe about 50 to 60 miles. So this car is really good on gas. If you're looking for a fuel economy car, this is definitely one of the ones to consider. The only thing that's kind of iffy about it is some of the parts inside. Let's face it, this isn't a car for rich people, but the car itself does hold together really well. This car has 105,000 something, 812 miles. A little bit of high mileage for the 2007, but not unheard of. I've noticed a lot of cars, especially from Integ Dude 300 and Ex-Wico Faco, or whatever his name is, the guy who does the Red Line videos. I can't remember what his name was. Sofian Bey. And I know that some of his cars have a lot of high mileage, even though they're, you know, 2008s, 2009s. Hell, what was it? Integ Dude had a Toyota something that had 170,000 miles on it, and it was a 2011. So I was like, holy crap, how much does this guy drive? But actually, I'm going slow enough to do a small kick down right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I want you to see the torque converter lockup feature. As you can see, it's disengaged, RPM slip down, and then shift again. Normal. And another thing too is the RPMs do run a little bit high on the freeway. Then again, look how small the engine is, 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. The transmission is a 4-speed automatic, and overall this car does handle rather well. It is a rather light vehicle, so you are going to be getting some clumsiness. Just a little bit of a play in the steering wheel, but not anything that you can't control. If you can't control a car, I mean, come on, you shouldn't be driving. So that's just my girlfriend right now doing, she's looking up the Vine for the black girl who was like fighting. It was like an imaginary fight with her boyfriend. She was like, "Where were you last night?" And like her head's going back and forth. So that was like the funniest Vine I've ever seen. So this is just a highway drive. If you've noticed on that last kickdown, like I said, slow to shift. However, the shift points are rather fast. You're going to be shifting at about 1,500 RPMs on light throttle, while a lot of the Hondas and a lot of the other cars, they'll shift at around 2,000 RPMs or just a little bit higher. My Honda Accord will hold second gear until, goodness, I would say maybe 2,250, 2,300 RPMs. So every car is different. I mean, this car will hold third gear when it does that, but first and second gears are kind of like your start-off gears. They're just like, okay, you know, whatever, get me up to speed. But it's a great car. I mean, this car actually, big improvement over the Dodge Stratus. Don't get me wrong, the Dodge Stratus was just on its last legs ready to blow up, which it did, big time. Just, you know, boom, kaboom, blew up, all done. That's exactly what it said. And as you can see, the car does handle well. Steering wheel, a lot of the Hyundais of these generations, the steering wheel was a little bit floaty. Surprisingly, on this Accent, I'm not getting that feedback. I drove a Hyundai Elantra, the 2013 one, and here it is, the 215 right now. I drove the 2013 Hyundai Elantra, and the steering rather feels quite similar to this Accent, or vice versa. The Accent feels similar to the Elantra. It doesn't come alive, but it gets you in the direction you want to go. There's not a lot of play in the steering wheel that you can work with, whereas in a lot of other cars, especially the older ones, aka the 99 Honda Accord, you had to play with the steering wheel a little bit to keep it straight. I'm not saying that that's not an alignment problem. I mean, if you're getting thrown all over the place, I would definitely get that checked out. But on newer cars, they use electric power steering, or they also use hydraulic, so you get more of a feedback. But nevertheless, guys, I'm going to go ahead and continue driving. On the 215, there are a few cops, and I don't want them to think that I'm texting and driving. All right, you guys? Well, it was nice knowing y'all. I will see you guys soon, and I'll be posting another video shortly. Thank you. Have a good one.